Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Today's video is another Dollar Tree Pottery Barn dupe. I love making these dupe videos, and today we are duping their Aiden mirror. Now this mirror comes in 3 different styles, 4, 6, and 9 panels, and today I'm going to be making the 9 panel, which on their website was originally $5.59 or $5.99 and now retails for $3.59, and we're going to make it for about $20 and some change. So I really hope that you enjoy this video and stick around by subscribing to this channel. Once you hit that subscribe button, we instantly become best friends.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
And please go ahead and hit that notification bell so you know every time I post a video. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using 9 of these 8x10 faux wood frames from Dollar Tree. If you can't find them at Dollar Tree, they are on dollartree.com, and the minimum you can buy is 12, which is pretty nice because they usually sell things in bigger quantities. So what I'm going to do is remove the backing of the frame, and I always end up saving mine in case I need them for other tutorials. And you'll see later on that with everything you have left over, you can definitely make something else like a lantern or another picture frame. So I'm going to set everything to the side, and I'm going to push those prongs back in so that they're not in the way for the rest of the tutorial, because we are going to be using them. Now I'm just going to arrange them, and I always do this in rows first and then add them together. So I'm making my first row of 3, and this time I'm going to use hot glue. I never do, but I wanted to see if maybe this method would work, so I pushed it up against the wall just so it could be leveled, and instead of using my E6000, which is what I always use, I attached it using hot glue. And spoiler alert, I really didn't like it. I thought maybe using this method, glue wouldn't seep towards the front, and it did anyway. So I ended up using E6000 in the long run with the popsicle sticks in the back. So I feel like this only saved me a little bit of time, but not exactly money because I'm still using the E6000. Regardless of the method that you're using, make sure that you are adding some sort of pressure while it's drying, whether you're using a binder clip or your hands, because if not, you're going to have gaps between the frames. To secure everything in place, I did end up using my E6000. I will link the key below as usual, and Dollar Tree craft sticks. These are the jumbo ones, and these are the ones that fit perfectly where the frames meet. So I added a generous amount between the 2 frames and on the frame itself so that the E6000 can dry nicely, making sure that those 2 frames are not coming apart. So this is how I'm going to position it. And I'm going to make sure that it dries really well before I move on to anything. And add as much glue as you need, because this is really what's going to support everything. You can also have a piece of wood cut at a hardware store to use as the backing and more support, but that would definitely add to the cost, so I'm sticking to popsicle sticks. So I went ahead and added popsicle sticks between each frame, and you can do this in the end. I just wanted to go ahead and have some parts start drying. I'm going to go ahead and start doing the other row of my mirror frame. So now I'm going to start to assemble the second row, and it is doing the exact same thing, but now instead of adding glue to just one side, I am going to be adding glue to the side of the frame that's touching another one. So this one right here has glue on just one side, and then this one, we are going to add it to the side that's touching both of the frames, if that makes sense. And make sure you don't add glue to the outside, the part that's not touching a frame, because that's going to look awful when you paint it. So you can make as many rows, columns, whatever you want to call them as you want. You just have to make sure to secure them in place, and this is how I assembled all of my popsicle sticks. I think it's pretty secure, and you can add as many or as little as you want. So now I'm going to flip this over. It is still wet, but I wanted to start painting it. And for the paint, I used this color from Folk Art called Granite. And I did add a little bit of black just to make it a little bit darker.
Now, because the frames already come in that really pretty wood grain, you can skip this step altogether and just leave it as is. I wanted to mimic the Pottery Barn one, which is why I was trying to get this color. In the end, I didn't get the color that I wanted, but I really did like the outcome. Once I have this gray color, I'm going to go ahead and paint it. And here is the side-by-side of two. This is the regular one without any paint at all, which I think looks awesome. And then this is the one with the gray paint, which has just dry brushed on, and I really like it as well, so it's up to you. To paint it, I just dabbed my brush lightly, removed all the excess paint, and just started brushing on in really random sections. I wanted it to look really worn, but I didn't want to have to sand it down. So I would just paint in random sections and then grab a little cloth and wipe it down if I saw that there was too much going on. And this worked for me perfectly. You can always add more or not at all. It is completely up to you and your taste and what color your furniture is at home. Here I'm just showing you just how dry the brush was. I actually ended up mixing way too much paint. I could have gotten away with mixing just a small amount because as soon as I brushed it on, it was instantly dry from how little paint I was using. I was actually painting the bowl more than I was the actual frames. Another cool option would be to layer another color on top, maybe like a seafoam green or something to just give it a little hint of color randomly in the high points of the frame. So this is where you can see the difference in color, and this is the entire thing painted. Now I'm going to flip it over. It is still not completely dry, but I am going to put my mirrors in. Now Dollar Tree has two mirrors, and you want to make sure that you use this one because the other mirror doesn't really fit in the slot. You can glue it on top, but I don't recommend it. The other one fits perfectly, even though they're both supposed to be 8 by 10. Now, one thing you should know about Dollar Tree mirrors is that they're extremely thin, so make sure that you're being very careful when you're putting in the prongs or when you're putting the mirror itself in the slot because this is really fragile. So this is the entire thing put together, and you want to allow it enough time to dry completely before mounting onto your wall.
One of your options if you want to save some money is just to use the backing that comes with the mirror itself, putting it where all the mirrors are and using those little prongs with nails, although that isn't exactly renter friendly and does create holes on your walls. So if you want to avoid that, you can use command strips. Make sure they're the heavy duty ones, but since these are really pricey, I like to use the foam mounting tape from Dollar Tree, especially when I don't know where I'm going to hang it and need to move it from wall to wall. Now with this option, even though it's cheaper, it does leave a film on your wall, but nothing a little Goo Gone won't take care of, and it comes off really clean with no issue. This is how I positioned it on all of my frames. I made sure to put a lot of the foam tape everywhere. I don't do this with the command strip since it's heavy duty, but I do like to feel like this isn't going to come off of my wall. Once everything is completely dry, I used a leveler to make sure that it was perfectly straight on my wall, and bam, I had a lovely Pottery Barn inspired mirror for super duper cheap, and I think it looks pretty good. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. Till next time.